Hello, students. This is the last presentation for the semester, and I think it's one of the most important ones. So what I'm going to do is give you a brief introduction of about 5, 6 minutes, and I'm going to talk to you about how social media affects international business from a political standpoint. Okay, and those of you who take 3354, you'll notice there'll be a lot of back and forth, which you've probably been seeing all semester. But really, when it comes to this particular lecture, there are some differences. There's some dramatic differences. So, what do I really want to talk about? So, this week's lecture will have a lot of good information about how social media affects international businesses from a political standpoint. I'll give you a great example of this. Look at what I'm wearing. Okay, what I'm wearing says a lot about one of the things that I want to talk about this week, how a company can get wrapped up uh, in um, in controversy. Okay, and professional baseball, more than anything else, is a corporation. It is a global corporation. Okay, historians, writers of baseball have known this going all the way back to the 1800s. And this particular shirt that I'm wearing, this symbol right here, recently has come under a lot of suspicion. Okay, because of the big sign stealing controversy. That I'll make the argument that the Astros are definitely not the only team that have done this. In fact, there are a lot of reports out there that many teams have done this over and over and over again. One famous one famous legend from the San Francisco Giants, Will Clark, even said, "Oh yes, we all do it, but the problem with the Astros is they got caught." Okay, so but the point of all that is that the Astros have seen their brand name really be wrapped up in all of this, and is really uh, a team that a lot of people really enjoyed, a lot of people cheered for. In the last couple of years, especially since the sign stealing scandal has come up, they have seen their brand name tainted probably for a long time, especially this championship here, no matter what people may say about it. Okay? No matter what people on what side that you are on the issue doesn't really matter. The point is, uh, the organization has taken a major hit, and social media has played a big role in that. In fact, it can be argued with the sign stealing scandal in previous years. Uh, it would have got a lot of it would have got a lot of good information. It would have got a lot of play probably in the newspapers or on TV. But it's really because of social media that it really sort of has taken off and really affected public sentiment in the way in how the team is seen. And this is kind of what I'm talking about for this week. All right. But really, from a political standpoint, I want you to think about two people in particular. Okay. That is Ted Newland and Pierre Wack and their concept of scenario planning. If you remember, if you remember our conversation that we had going back right before spring break, where we talk about Shell, how they moved their corporation, their company headquarters um, from New York to Houston in the early 1970s. But Ted and Pierre were part of this new department in Shell um, that sort of was brought together to uh, sort of a way you could say this is sort of see things that may be coming in the future. Okay, and Ted Newland and Pierre Wack really helped Shell to avoid the worst of the oil energy crisis in the late 1970s by coming up with something that many corporations and small governments, or corporations and governments like South Africa, have used to help avoid political risks and try to make things better, not only for industries, companies, but also in the case of South Africa, to help in the transition of a nation ripped apart by apartheid towards a more stable multiracial country. But Ted Newland and Pierre Weck came up with this idea of scenario planning. All right, and what do we mean by scenario planning? Well, to give you a good example, or well, to give you kind of a definition I want you to remember, and I'm going to read it here, is the use of alternative stories about the future, many with improbable and dramatic twists to develop strategy. Okay, and it is one of the few management innovations to have actually been created in a corporate setting, and that setting was Shell, amid the real life battle for profits. And what we're talking about is the oil company profits, because they saw with the rise of OPEC that this could be a problem for energy companies. Okay, and what I want you also to think about is, and I have quite a few slides here of different corporations, different companies, how they come under attack. Okay, lots of times because of their own doing. United with taking out an Asian, really forcing an Asian doctor after one of their flights, and the backlash from that. Also, SeaWorld, all right, from a filmmaker who didn't think that that orcas, that SeaWorld was doing right by orcas, okay, and sort of the backlash that a great company, well, that a company like SeaWorld sort of got, and it's taken them almost a decade to sort of come back, all right, and have profits. That's how dramatic of effect that uh, that this filmmaker had on SeaWorld, okay, and also other places and other organizations. Um, Another good example from here in Houston is the sort of political firestorm that the Houston Rockets sort of found themselves in the middle of, all right, in a situation in China when it came to protest back in 2019. Okay, uh, one, one, uh, one highlight from one of the articles, okay, from CNN Business, I'll read it here, is the NBA faces a no-win situation in China. Here's what it stands to lose. And all this was the result of a tweet sent out by the general manager of the Rockets, Daryl Morey. Okay? And it got to a point where governments were involved. All right? This is kind of the political backlash and political firestorm that can be caused by social media. And it really has a lot to do with branding. Okay? And the role of social media in international branding, which is why I want you to read the article by Kevin Johnson. All right? That nowadays, more than ever, someone could log onto your account, log onto your company's website, and see what they want to see and make a judgment about the mission or the value statement of your company and sort of reflect that out really to the world in a matter of seconds by way of anything, by way of a tweet, by way of sharing a post or anything. And this is the type of world that corporations now see themselves in. Okay, and they have to be very careful with what they're doing. All right, I'm sure there are plenty of other examples that you could probably think about. So this week, go through the slides, okay, do the quiz, and pay attention since we are so close to the final exam. Make sure you do those readings that I had you do in the folder. And in the next week or so, or the next couple of days or so, especially, I'll be putting on some more videos about some of the things that I'm really going to be looking at when it comes to the final exam. And the final exam is roughly 2 weeks from now, so be prepared. All right, and please, all of y'all, go through the video, go through the lecture, and be safe. All right, and I'll talk to y'all soon.